Great.
Okay. Um, I think I might need permission to share my screen.
Okay, who do you need from Taj?
Wait, let me join back from the other account, okay?
Okay. Or I can shut down and you can join. Taj is joining from another account. Just Taj, are you on mute?
Okay. So now we are moving on to the third chapter, and this chapter is data handling. So this is a very easy chapter, and it'll be shorter than the first and second chapter. So I will begin now when all students are there. So the learning goals for this chapter is that I can tell the mean, median, and mode of a data set, and I can use mean, median, and mode in real world scenarios. So just for fun, could anybody say which country has the largest population?
India.
Mm-hmm. India, correct. All right. Now, what is a data set? First of all, a data set is just a representation of multiple numbers in a set. So this can be in a list form, it could be in a table, but all it is to be able to recognize multiple numbers in a list. And then, so there are three things: mean, median, and mode. So starting off on mode. So um, all mode is whichever number appears the most in a list. And there can also be two modes if two numbers appear the same amount of times in the list. So is this like a new concept, or are people familiar with it? So has anybody ever heard of this before?
তোমালোকে এইটো জানা নে নতুনকৈ শিকিবা? নীলোৎপল তোমাৰ ষ্টুডেন্টছে জানে নে এইটো কনসেপ্ট? You must be on mute. You must be talking on mute. তোমালোক মিউট হৈ আছা নেকি, কথা কৈ আছা বাট মিউট.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means this chapter will be pretty easy. So mode, all it is whichever number appears the most amount of times. And then median, the median is the number in the middle of the data set. So how to do it is you count from the left equally and from the right equally until you reach the middle number. But then if there are two numbers that are in the middle, you would add them and divide it by two. So as the graphic shows, 7 and 8 are the middle, but then the median would be 7.5. So mode is the most common and median is the middle. Okay, moving on to the next slide. This is the mean. So how to solve the mean is you add up all of the numbers in the data set and you divide by how many numbers there are. And the mean is also called the average, but in this case, we're calling it the mean. And then there can also only be one mean in a data set. So as we see here, 2 plus 7 plus 9 is 18, and there are three numbers, so 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 would be the mean. And the mean can be a number even if that number doesn't appear in the data set. Okay. So these shouldn't take too long, but let's take maybe 2 to 3 minutes for this. So just tell the mean, median, and mode of each data set. So these are for you to do on your own paper.
Sir, we do not understand.
Okay, so I will go back. Let me get out. Sorry, 1 second. So the mode. The mode means the number that appears the most amount of time. A most amount of times. Does that make sense?
Can you give an example?
So do you see on the left, on the right here, there's a list of numbers. So the number that appears the most is 6. So 6 is the mode.
So কি কৈছে 6 টো আটাইতকৈ বেছিকৈ ওলাইছে নহয় 6 কেটা আছে কেটা 6 আছে কোৱাচোন 1 2 3 how many 6s are there তিনটা 6 আছে তিনটা 6 আছে নহয় I think I
So
get it.
because 6 is there the most, that is the mode. So these are just terms to know. They are not, there's just terms. There's no math involved. So the mode is what number appears the most amount of times. Okay? Does that make sense? Could I just get a yes so I can move on to make sure it makes sense?
নীলত বুজি পাইছে নে স্টুডেন্ট বিলাকে মোড মানে কি মোড মানে আটাইতকৈ বেছি যেটাই নম্বৰ আছে এটো একো অংক নহয় এটো এনে টার্ম এটা হয় টার্মিনোলজি এটা হয়
হয় বাইদেউ
ঠিকে আছে এইটো মানে একো অংক নহয়, এইটো জাষ্ট মানে এটা টাৰ্মিনলজি। জাষ্ট এই লাইনডালত দেখিছা 6টো 3বাৰ ওলাইছে, সেইকাৰণে 3টা টিক মাৰ্ক দিয়া আছে। 5টো খালি এবাৰ ওলাইছে, এটা টিক মাৰ্ক দিয়া আছে। 3টো দুবাৰ আছে, 2টা টিক মাৰ্ক দিয়া আছে। তাজে এতিয়া শিকাব, এতিয়ালৈকে একো শিকোৱা নাই, মানে কনচেপ্টটো বুজাইছে দেই। আই থিংক তাজ দেয়াৰ ফলোইং।
Okay. So then the next term to know is median. So median means middle. So figure out what number is in the middle of the data set. So as we can see here in the list, we have 1, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 11, 15. And because there is no perfect number in the middle, we take the average of 7 and 8, and that's 7.5. So only thing to remember is median is middle. And if there is no median, you take the two numbers, add them, and divide by 2. So does median make sense? And shall we move on to mean?
তোমালোকে আনসাৰ কৰিবা দেই, বুজি পালে। তাজে সুধিছে বুজি পাইছা নাই মিডিয়ান মানে কি? Taj, can you explain one more time?
Okay. Yes. So we have a list of numbers. Six. Okay. So right now we are looking for the median. Median is the middle number. So what to do is we count from the left and the right to figure out which number is the middle. So 1 and 7. So that's not, those both are not the median. 2 and 6, these are not the median. 3 and 5, these are not the median. So the only number we're left with is 4. So let's say we have another set. Okay? So we are looking for the median, which means middle. So we do 2 and 8. These are the ends, so we know it's not the middle. Then 4 and 6, these are not the middle. But then because there are two numbers left, we find what number is in the middle of both of these. So we can do 4 plus 6 is 10, divided by 2 is 5, or we can just figure out what number is perfectly in between 4 and 6. So if we were on a number line, it would go 4, 5, 6. So the main thing to remember is median equals middle. Does that make sense?
বুজি পাইছা নে?
Yes, ma'am.
ঠিক
Okay.
আছে, বুজি পালে ইয়েছ বুলি ক'লে তাজৰ অলপ সুবিধা হয় দেই। তেতিয়া তাজে মানে নেক্সট কনচেপ্টটো শিকাব পাৰে। তোমালোকে আনসাৰ কৰি দিবা ইয়েছ অৰ নো। থেংক ইউ।
Above, ma'am.
Okay. Next, moving on to the next slide is mean. So the mean means the average. And how to solve the average is you add up all of the numbers in the data set and you divide by how many numbers there are. And the reason you do this is so you can figure out what number is the most similar in the data set. So I will give an example. So say we have the data set 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay? We want to figure out the mean. The mean means add all the numbers and then divide. So this will give us the number that is closest to the thing. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 4 is 7, and then there's 6. Now 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 6 is 13, and 7 plus 13 is 20. So we did the first step, and that is to add. Now the sum is 20 of all of these numbers. Now the next thing is to divide. So we count how many numbers there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we take our number 20 and divide it by 7. So 20 divided by 7 would be, it only goes in 2 times, and this is long division. This only goes 2 times, and we'll just say to the second place. 8, 56, 4, and then 5. So our mean would be 2.85. And now, if you see, this makes sense because the number 2 appears more times than 3, 4, and 6. So we would expect it to be around there. So all you need to remember is the mean is you add all of the numbers and then you divide by how many numbers there are. So does that make sense?
বুজি পাইছানে এইটো মিনটো কি?
Yes, ma'am.
পাইছা ন? তোমালোকে
Okay.
আগতে শিকিছিলা নেকি মিন মোড মিডিয়াম আগতে নে এইবাৰ প্ৰথমবাৰ শিকিছা?
Past time.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah,
So
they're learning
now
for the first time.
using what you just learned from mean, median, and mode, see if you can solve these questions. Okay, so take as much time as you need. Let's say we'll meet back in 4 to 5 minutes and just see if we can get the right answers. So the first set is 3, 5, 7, 7, 9, 11. Then the second set is 4, 6, 6, 6, 8, 10, 10, 14. So spend some time, write down the mean, median, and mode of these data sets. Okay. So, was that enough time? So these are the answers you should have got.
Yeah,
So
it was it.
um
হয়, হয়, হয়.
check on your paper to see if you got these same answers.
Sir, answer was right.
Okay, so everybody understands. We will
Yes.
we will
Yes.
move on. So how to use these in real world. So the mean is the average and it is best for data that is even. Okay, and the median is the middle value. It's best when outliers exist. This means when there's a data that is very different than the data set. And then the mode is the most frequent value and is best for identifying common outcomes or categories. So the reason for mean, median, and mode is to use them in real world scenarios. So we will just be going over some word problems, and then if someone is able to translate, that would be great. So first, um, a soccer team tracked how many goals they scored in 7 games. What is the average of the goals per game, and what integer is it close to? So the average is the mean. So find the mean and then figure out what integer is it closest to. So this is how to use mean in the real world scenarios. So take 2 minutes for this problem, see if you can do it.
Sir, we don't understand.
Okay. So you are given the numbers 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, right? So add all the numbers up and then divide by how many numbers there are. And then tell me what whole number is it closest to. So that is the average, that is the mean, and that is how to use it in real world scenarios. So just try to do this and then I will show the explanation. Okay, I will show the solution to this problem now. Okay? So,
Okay, sir.
we are given that a soccer team has had 7 games, and then they have scored 2 goals, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and 5. This means over the course of 7 games, they have scored this many goals per game. and then we are looking for the average. Now, the average is just the mean. So, to find the mean, we add all of these numbers, add, and then divide. Divide. So, if we add up all of these numbers, let's do that right now. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and then the next is 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 4 is 8, and then we are left with 5. Now, to add again, we do this again. So 5 plus 7 is 12, and 8 plus 5 is 13. Now, this is just a adding strategy that I do, and it can be very useful for you when there are multiple numbers that are easy to add in a list, so you don't lose track. And then 12 plus 13 is 25. So now they said to find the mean and then what integer value it is closest to. So we have 25 goals over 7 games. So to find the mean, we would now divide. So we have 25, and we are dividing by 7. So 7 can go into 25 3 times, and then 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 7 is 21. And we subtract, and this would be 4. And now, just like we were doing before, we put a decimal point, we bring down a 0, and then we bring down a 0, and now 7 can go into 40, 5 times. So what number is this closest to? This number 3.5 is closest to 4. So 4 would be the answer. So all we are solving for is we are adding up every single number, and we are dividing by the total number of games, which was 7. We got 3.5, and then we made it just 4 to figure out how many goals on average they score. Does that make sense? Could I get a verbal confirmation if that makes sense?
বুজি পাইছানে যে সাতখন টুৰ্ণামেণ্ট হৈছিলে, 7খন টুৰ্ণামেণ্টত 25টা গ'ল আছিলে। চ' এভাৰেজ গ'ল কিমান হৈছিলে বুজি পাইছানে? নীলোৎপল ষ্টুডেণ্টছে বুজি পাইছেনে এভাৰেজটো কিমান হ'ল টুৰ্ণামেণ্টখনত?
Yes.
Okay. So, next, moving on. These are the last 2 questions, and then we are done. So first, just do the first question first, and then do the second question later. So I will give the explanation to the first question, and then we will spend more time on the second question, and I'll show how to do that one.
অকল প্ৰথমটো কৰিবা দেই, অকল প্ৰথমটো কৰি আনচাৰটো দিয়া।
So I will read out the question and just really think about what the question is asking and how to solve for it. So a soccer store sold 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 9, 11, 11, 15 jerseys over 1 week. So these are numbers on a jersey. So what number is most likely to be sold next based on the data from last week? So just think about which number is most likely to be sold using one of the techniques, and then I will show the answer in about 2 minutes.
Jersey means sweatshirt, tell them.
Ma'am, Assamese koribone course.
What?
Sir, you can speak the question in Assamese.
Ma, can
Shall
you
I
do
do
it?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will do it. Okay. So কি কৈছে এখন দোকানে এখন সকাৰ ফুটবল বেচা দোকান এখনে তোমাৰ স্ৱেটশ্বাৰ্ট বিলাকত নম্বৰ থাকে নহয়, প্লেয়াৰ বিলাকৰ নম্বৰ থাকে নহয়, সেই স্ৱেটশ্বাৰ্ট বিলাকত 6 লিখা আছে, 7 7 7 7 লিখা আছে, আকৌ বাকী কেইটা স্ৱেটশ্বাৰ্টত 8 9 11 11 15। সেই স্ৱেটশ্বাৰ্ট বিলাকত প্লেয়াৰ বিলাকৰ নম্বৰ থাকে যে, নম্বৰ বিলাক এনেকে লিখা আছে বুজিছা। তেতিয়া সুধিছে এই যে what number is most likely to be sold next based on the data. So যিহেতু এইকেইটা sweatshirt আছে, কেইটা sweatshirt আছে 1 2 3, how many sweatshirts are there তাত? So বাদে 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 10টা sweatshirt বেচিছে, 10টাৰ ভিতৰত যদি
There's 10.
4টাত 7 লিখা আছে, 2টাত 11 লিখা আছে, so মানুহে কোনটো sweatshirt বেছি কিনিব সেইটো সুধিছে। এইটো এটা ঠিক অংক নহয়, বাট এইটো এনালিটিক্স, ডেটাটো এনালাইজ কৰিব বিচাৰিছে, ঠিক আছে। চ' হোৱাট নাম্বাৰ, কোনটো নাম্বাৰ ইজ মষ্ট লাইকলি টু বি চল্ড, কোনটো আটাইতকৈ বেছি বেচা যাব, এই নম্বৰ কেইটা যে দেখিছা, সেই নম্বৰ কেইটা দেখাৰ ভিতৰত যদি বহুত মানুহ আহে, কোনটো স্ৱেটশ্বাৰ্ট বেছি কিনিব, কোনটো নম্বৰ বেছি লিখা আছে, সেইটোকে বিচাৰে। সেই কনচেপ্টটো যে মিন মিডিয়াম আৰু মড, সেইটোকে শিকাবলৈ আজি এইটো অংক দিছে। বুজি পাইছা?
Answer is 7.
Yep. Answer is 7. That is correct because 7 appears the most amount of times. That means that football player is the most popular. So that is most likely to be sold. So that is mode. So we are figuring out what is most common to be sold next. Okay. So the second question, just write down the numbers on your paper and I will go through with this at the same time. So could you read this in Assamese?
You're asking me, Taj?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me first read, okay? মই নিজে পঢ়ি লম। Okay, so এটা ষ্টুডেণ্টে he wants to average a 91. He 92% পাব বিচাৰিছে অংক math ক্লাছটোত দেই। So সেই ষ্টুডেণ্টটোৱে 80 পাইছে, 90 পাইছে, 100 পাইছে, 85 95 190, সি সেইকেইটা নম্বৰ তাৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ মেথৰ পৰীক্ষাত সেইকেইটা নম্বৰ পাইছে দেই। What
Wait, say
score will
8
he need?
exams.
Eight exam start?
Yeah.
1 2 3 4 I saw 7. He 7টা পৰীক্ষাত, oh, what score will he need to get on his 7th exam to reach this goal, right?
Yeah, so
It's a
8th exam.
Oh, okay. Examটোত সি 92% পাবলৈ কিমান পাব লাগিব, অলপ অলপ ট্ৰিকি হয় বস্তুটো। সি যদি 92% পাবলৈ সি টাৰ্গেট কৰি আছে, সি পঢ়া শুনা কৰি আছে যাতে সি 92% পায়, সি আৰু কিমান বেছি পাব লাগিব? তোমাৰ অংকটো অলপ ট্ৰিকিকৈ সুধিছে। সি 8 নম্বৰ পৰীক্ষাটোত কিমান নম্বৰ পালে সি 92% পাব? সি অলপ পঢ়া শুনা কৰিব লাগিব, কষ্ট কৰিব লাগিব যাতে সি 92% পায়। সি এতিয়া ইমানখিনি পালে, সি গোটেইকেইটা
Okay.
পৰীক্ষাত তাজ এক্সপ্লেইন।
So write down the numbers on your paper and then I will go through the problem.
তোমালোকে নম্বৰ কেইটা লিখাচোন কাগজত, তাতে বুজাই দিব। তোমালোকে 80 90 100 গোটেইকেইটা লিখি লোৱা।
Okay. So, shall I give the explanation?
Yes, go ahead, Taj.
Okay, so this question is a little bit tricky, which is why I'm going through it with you. But I just want to show how mean, median, and mode can be used in real life scenarios. So we are given the numbers. The scores on his last 7 tests were 80, 90, 100, 85, 95, 100, and 90. Now his goal is to average 92, which means out of all these numbers, he wants it to be similar to 92. However, he has one more exam. So the question is asking, what will he need to get on this exam to average a 92? Okay? So, first, let's figure out the total right now. So 80 plus 90 is 8 plus 9 and add 2 zeros. So this is 170. So the reason I'm doing this adding technique is because when there are lots of numbers, this is the easiest way to make sure you do not leave any numbers behind. So this is still addition, just an easier way with lists. And then 100 plus 85 is 185. 95 plus 100 is 195. And then we are left with 90. So let's add again, and then it is okay to do each problem separately, so we can see 185 plus 170 would be, make sure you carry the 1, 355. So make sure you're doing this at the same time as me, so you understand thoroughly. Then 195 plus 90 is 285. And finally, the last two numbers to add is 355 and 285. Ten, 1 plus 5 plus 8 is 14. 4, 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 640. So, over the course of 7 tests, he has scored 640. So that is the first step. I will wait for everybody to write this down and then I'll just move on. So now we figured out in 7 tests, he has scored a 640. So he wants to score a 92% overall. So we are asking on his 8th test, what will he need to get to score a 92? Now, we don't need to even do the average of 640 and 7 because all we're looking for is what number added to 640 divided by 8 will equal 92. Now, if you think about it, that is because if we don't need to know the numbers, we don't need to know the individual numbers in the data set for the eighth number. All we need to know is their average, or is their total. So to figure this out, we do 92 times 8. 92 times 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 1 is 73. So in the span of 8 tests, the student needs to score a 736 total. Now, we know that he has already scored a 640. So what does he need to score on his 8th test to get this 92%. Now we just need to do the difference. So the difference is subtraction, and we would subtract 640 from 736. So 6 times 0 is 6. Then we can't do 3 minus 4, so we borrow a 1. 13 minus 4 is 96. There. So this is the answer to the question, 96. He needs to score a 96 to average a 92 over all of his tests. Now, this is an extremely difficult question, and you probably won't have to do this hard of a question, but just to understand how mean, median, and mode can be used in the real world. So, do people understand this question? Could I get a yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was the last thing that I had for you. That was the last thing that I had. And now, just you can go over your notes to figure out, to solidify concepts on mean, median, and mode. But if that's it, we can call it good for today.
আজিলৈ ইমানে আছে দেই so Taj, if we can always revise it next week, this concept, if they need more time. আৰু নীলোৎপল, কিবা question আছে নেকি তোমাৰ ফালৰ পৰা?
বাইদেউ
একো নাই নহয়?
এতিয়া নাই বাৰু, আমাৰ অকনমান বাকী ইয়াত নেটৱৰ্কৰ ইছ্যু হৈ থাকে, লগতে অলপ বাকী প্ৰব্লেম দি থাকে যে লাষ্টত অলপ তেনেকে কৰিবলগীয়া হয় আৰু
লেগ এটা আছে। তাজে বাৰু যিহেতু প্ৰাঞ্জল আৰু পলাশ আহা নাছিলে, তাজ নেক্সট টাইম ইউ কেন গো অভাৰ দিছ সেশন ওৱান মোৰ টাইম আৰু students বিলাক here. So ever we can recap right before the next session so that other math teachers can also know what you taught. And then next Sunday, এই সময়টো সদায় 8:30 হয় Sunday. So তোমালোকৰ winter break যদি হয় বেলেগ কথা, but otherwise next Sunday আকৌ তোমালোকৰ 8:30 হয়, কিন্তু আজি 9টা বজাত কৰা হ'ল. So I'll talk with Polas and Pranjal. Okay? নীলোৎপল, তোমাৰ কিবা question আছে নেকি?
ঠিক আছে, মোৰ নাই বাৰু।
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.